Although it's been over 70 years since the Holocaust happened, our reporter Blair Brown explains why current events have sparked the need for the stories of survivors to live and breathe today.
Schools in our
It was a packed auditorium on Monday night as hundreds of students came to hear from 2 Holocaust survivors. For the many students that attended for extra credit, their experience on the night began in this line. But for Sami Kuperberg, the experience began here.
I had a student who began to make anti-Semitic remarks, Holocaust jokes, Jewish jokes. It escalated to where I couldn't raise my hand in class because he would tell me to put my hand down, Jew. It affected my schoolwork. Then he started to get physical where he would hold my arm down in class and draw swastikas on me. A student in one of my classes who threw a water bottle at my head and told me to pick it up, Jew. And after I refused, he started punching and kicking my back and yelling anti-Semitic slurs. And that night I just didn't know what to do. I felt helpless.
For many teenagers, such an experience might lead to the desire to retaliate. But for Sami, it inspired the opportunity to build a community.
So I realized that I couldn't be the only one that was feeling this way, alone, scared to admit that I was Jewish. And I wanted to create a place where we could sort of be safe and also show that we're not different. I started the Jewish Student Union here at Oviedo, and I began to plan this event.
The speaking engagement titled One Day Starts Today was co-sponsored by Stand With Us and Join Orlando and became a unique opportunity for students to hear firsthand the horrors of the Holocaust and the positive role they can play as citizens.
We figured if we could bring in survivors to share their story and to talk about tolerance and bullying, that could be a message that relates to everyone, and that most importantly, that when it comes to hate, that you should be an upstander and not a bystander.
I came mainly because we're one of the last few generations who can really hear the stories of the people who really had to live through these events. The fact that we are able to just experience their tragedies through the stories that they tell us is a really heartbreaking, but this thing to remember as well.
We want the community to understand that different marginalized groups are still facing ignorance and hatred and discrimination.
And the Oviedo campus is not immune to that hatred, as what happened to Sami isn't isolated.
Someone put a swastika on my car last year. You know, there has certainly been a rise in the amount of this type of behavior, especially in the past year. I've been here for almost, I think, 8 years. This is my 8th year. And last year was the first year that I've had to deal with something like this.
The significance of One Day Starts Today is to serve as a reminder of where society has been and provoke thought on where it is going.
We have to know that these things have happened so that we can do everything in our power for, you know, that fear and hatred and ignorance for it to not reoccur.
I hope it educated them. I hope that if they were a bystander and they saw people being bullied for any type of religion, or even if they did make comments and didn't understand the significance of what they were saying, that maybe they now stand up against it and tell someone, this isn't funny, this isn't something to joke about, or you can't say these things to people. And it just creates a more positive community in the school and spreads love instead of hate.
For Aurora TV, I'm Blair Brown.
JSU's teacher sponsor, Shana Haran, says that JSU hopes that Monday's event will become an annual occurrence. The club meets on a monthly basis. If you're interested in the club, please stop by room 8230 to learn more.